Ferrari's 2024 has presented us with a team that is certainly growing significantly compared to the very recent past. Only in 2023, the Maranello team had to face a technically dramatic situation, with a car that was unfit to compete in the F1 World Championship, and a team literally in disarray, still reeling from the management more than from the hands-in-hair moments of Mattia Binotto. With the curly-haired, bespectacled manager, they hit rock bottom on several occasions, and the competitive first half of the 2022 Formula One Championship certainly cannot be enough. With the arrival of Frederic Vasseur, things have changed, and in almost 2 years of work, the Frenchman has cleaned house, sending away those figures who over time only caused damage or simply no longer had the right motivation to move forward, such as David Sanchez, who left Ferrari right after realizing the disasters of the 2023 car to join McLaren first, and a few weeks later, Alpine. The latest high-profile name to leave the historic Maranello team was Italian aerodynamicist Enrico Cardile. The technical director left last July, just days after the disastrous aerodynamic update brought to the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona, which in hindsight effectively excluded Ferrari from the world title battle with McLaren. Until that moment, Ferrari had managed to maintain a good pace, with 2 wins and several important podium finishes. The legacy of the engineer from Arezzo was therefore impressive, as the SF24 started to show negative performances until the summer break, when they decided to take a different direction, revisiting the early season work and the Imola update, thus forming a hybrid car and developing a new update path that evidently paid off until the end of the season. Though the gap was narrow, 2024 was not the year Ferrari had hoped for. The Maranello team finished 14 points behind McLaren, the constructors' champion. It was not an easy victory for the Papaya team, but it still left Ferrari fans with a bitter taste. Over the past 18 months, Ferrari has made significant progress, keeping the possibility of victory alive until the very end. The Italian side was the only team to prevent Red Bull from dominating in 2023, thanks to Carlos Sainz's pole position in Singapore. However, the stark contrast between Ferrari's one-lap pace and its race performance left the team uncertain about its competitiveness for the following season, not to mention the persistent tire overheating issues. Ferrari's 2024 performance was a pleasant surprise from the start, although still trailing Red Bull in terms of pace. However, the Maranello team could never have predicted that their primary concern wouldn't be Red Bull, but McLaren. McLaren made a significant leap forward starting in May, with the Miami Grand Prix. From that point, McLaren quickly overtook Ferrari in the constructors' standings. Despite Ferrari's late attempt at a comeback, several key moments prevented them from closing the gap. Among these setbacks, the first double retirement of the season during a disastrous weekend in Canada stands out. Both Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz were eliminated in Q2, forced to start from 11th and 12th on the grid. Ferrari was determined to recover, but a new floor introduced at the Spanish Grand Prix not only hurt the car's performance, but also delayed the development program. Additionally, races in Baku and Singapore cost Ferrari valuable points. In Azerbaijan, Charles Leclerc lost the victory to an impeccable Oscar Piastri, while Carlos Sainz crashed into the wall after a collision with Sergio Perez. Singapore also proved unfavorable for the prancing horse. Despite arriving with solid prospects for victory, those hopes quickly faded after a disappointing qualifying session. Still, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz managed solid races to minimize damage, finishing 5th and 7th respectively. However, the significant gap to the winner, Lando Norris, left Ferrari unable to capitalize fully. The foundation for Ferrari's 2025 car therefore seems to be quite solid, as Frederic Vasseur himself admitted recently, despite the fact that he could not help but reiterate what has been said in recent months, including in several of our articles with the disastrous aerodynamic update introduced by the Ferrari technicians and engineers in Spain. The Maranello team lost many points in the direct battle with McLaren, which were crucial in the loss of the Constructors' Championship. Frederic Vasseur stated that the season had been a positive one when considering all the reference metrics. He highlighted that the number of wins had increased from 1 to 5, and that the team had scored almost 50% more points compared to the previous year. According to him, they were on the right track, having improved in performance, reliability, and efficiency, as confirmed by key performance indicators. However, the former Alfa Romeo team boss emphasized the need to continue aiming higher, expressing the desire for more and acknowledging areas of weakness that required further work. The French manager also remarked that, overall, the balance for the year was certainly positive. Frederic Vasseur expressed particular pride in the team's reaction to the difficulties faced during the summer months, explaining that despite being in a dire situation, they managed to overcome it through teamwork and determination. He noted that this outcome filled him with genuine pride. As always, the Frenchman did not mince words, waiting until the end of the 2024 Formula One season for some harsh but nonetheless impeccable statements. The summer flop, led by those who are no longer part of the Maranello team, still stings, but it also served to clean up for a different Ferrari in the near future. The 2025 Formula One campaign is already around the corner, and the new car already has high expectations, especially since the recently concluded season ended with an upward curve from the SF24, which did not become world champion only because of that clumsy attempt at improvement that did not succeed. The team principal of the Scuderia noted that the team had faced challenging weekends, citing the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku as an example. Although the Maranello team finished second with Charles Leclerc, the French manager believed they could have performed significantly better. He also mentioned that Singapore had been another difficult weekend, with both cars qualifying in 9th and 10th places, and felt that they could have achieved much more, similar to McLaren. Reflecting on the season, the Ferrari team principal described it as good but insufficient. Comparing it to the previous year, he acknowledged a significant step forward, with improvements in pit stops, strategy, reliability, and pure performance. However, he pointed out that they were 14 points short and explained that being 80 or 100 points behind would have been less frustrating. He recognized that McLaren also faced its challenges and emphasized the need to work better in the coming year. Despite these shortcomings, he expressed pride in the pace the team had managed to establish.